Hello again. We in this country seem to be so busy apologising these days for all the evils which we have apparently inflicted upon the world that we sometimes need to stop and think about the good things instead. All nations and people have done bad things, and the British have certainly done their share. Few nations, though, have done more good. So what has Britain done? Well, for one thing, we have unified the world through giving it a common language. One of the reasons for the current crisis with refugees is that all foreigners in Africa and Asia try to learn English, and they then consequently make a beeline for the country where it is spoken when once they leave their own homes. In that sense, I think we've made a rod for our own back. We are the nation which has provided the world with a template against which things like democracy and justice are measured. Even countries which do not have impartial courts or a real democratic process know that they really ought to have those things. Not every country has jury trials either, but those that don't know that the British way is an ideal at which they should aim. We exported our language and values to America, and that, the world's greatest democracy, is our achievement. It is our colony which leads the free world. Those who indulge in anti-Americanism might ask themselves what would have happened when Germany and Russia were determined to take over the world during the 20th century, had it not been for our former colony, which stood in their way and championed instead democracy. We are the nation of politeness and queuing and taking your turn. We believe in fairness, and this is something embedded deeply within the British spirit. We may not make a huge song and dance about shouting grand slogans the way the French do about liberty, fraternity and equality, but just listen to an Englishman saying quietly, "That's not fair." Fair play and equal goes are bred in our bones. We know instinctively what's right and just. We are the nation who carried those values about fairness around the world. The black and brown peoples we found were living in darkness, and we showed them a better way of doing things. Perhaps they were not always grateful at first, but I don't think that anybody can say that we did not leave all those places that we colonised in a damn sight better shape than we found them. When we arrived, they were living, most of them, in mud huts. By the time we left, they had hospitals and roads, courts, harbours and factories, courtrooms and churches. We brought civilization to the world, and that is the colonialism about which we are now supposed to feel guilty. We are the nation which civilized the world. It is those countries like America and India which most readily adopted our values, which are the ones doing best now. America is the world power, and India is heading in that direction to become a world power as well. Does anybody seriously think that either America or India could have been a world power were it not for British colonialism? We are the nation which had a vision of a unified world where everybody followed British ideals of justice and civilization. The countries which have rejected those teachings after we left are now in the main squalid dictatorships or are descending into savagery. Those who kept to our ways are the ones which are the most civilised in the modern world. We are the nation which conquered much of the world, taught it our ways, and then voluntarily relinquished our empire and hoped that we had done some good for the world. The benefits of colonialism vastly outweigh the evils, and anybody who fails to see this must be blind, quite honestly. It is time to start taking pride again in being British, to be proud of our history and heritage, and to stop apologising for the empire which did so much for various barbarous parts of the world. We are the nation who tamed the world and taught it a universal set of values to which civilised countries everywhere still adhere.